Part two about the message. Yes, the devil is blinding the mindsets of people with his message. The devil is blinding the mindsets of men and women in hip hop culture in the world today with his message, just like he did Adam and Eve. Just like the devil did Adam and Eve. Did Jesus Christ really say that? Is that Bible true? Yeah, the devil don't want nobody to know God's truth. He don't want to know God's truth. It says, even if the gospel is veiled, it is veiled from those that are perishing. The God, who is the God of this age? The God of this age. The devil is called the God of this age. See, he disguises himself as an angel of light. The devil disguises himself as an angel of light, and he's blinding the minds of unbelievers so they cannot see the light. There's a message going out today. The message, what about the religion stuff? That ain't Jesus. The devil is blinding people's mind with the spirit of religion. Religion is not Jesus. Nope. And the devil is blinding the minds of people who chase religion. The devil is blinding the mindsets of women who expose themselves on Facebook. The God of this age, the devil is disguising himself. He's not in no car, he's not in no got no red horns and no pitchfork. No, no. Mm-mm. So the women that are exposing themselves on Facebook, he's blinding their mind from God's truth. The devil is blinding the minds of the woman who's walking around with bitterness in her heart, cussing everybody out. The devil is blinding the mindsets of people from Jesus Christ's truth. That's what the God of this age is doing. The God of this age is blinding the mind. That is the goal, is to get you not to trust in Jesus. There's so much religious stuff out there, and it ain't Jesus. Religion is not Jesus. The devil loves to argue. You don't argue with the devil, because our battle ain't against flesh and blood. Jesus Christ hates religion. Religion is not Jesus. It's not. That's not why he came. He had the most problem with the religious people in the Bible, and that ain't what this is about. You got to kick religion to the curb. That ain't Jesus. You can't talk to a blind man or a blind woman who's blind to God's truth. All I can do is pray that God deliver them from the devil's lies. The devil is spreading his lies on the internet, through hip hop, through pornography. If the gospel is veiled, it's veiled from those that are perishing. God don't want no one to perish. He want all to come to repentance. That means letting God change your thinking. You can't talk to a blind man or a blind woman. They're totally blind to God's truth. The woman that gets on Facebook and take off all her clothes and just showing everything. The God of this age, he said, he said, okay, now if the gospel is veiled to those that are perishing. The God of this age, the God of this age has blinded the minds of unbelievers so they cannot see the light of the glorious gospel displayed. The devil is blinding the mindsets. Religion, that ain't no Jesus. But the devil has taken over people's mind, and he's blinding their minds from God's truth. They're blind to the truth of God. The message that go out in hip hop, the devil is blinding their minds. That's why the devil don't want them to hear the truth of God. The devil do not want nobody to hear God's truth. He don't want nobody to hear God's truth. He don't want nobody to hear the truth of Jesus. No. That's why people reject it. That's why people don't want Jesus. Because the devil is blinding their minds from God's truth. And it's right here in the word. The Book of Mormon, the 7-day Adventist, all this stuff. That's not from Jesus. Long as you chase religion, the devil won't bother you. Religion ain't Jesus. That's not Jesus. That's not why he came. God sent his son so we can have a relationship, reconciliation. But the devil is blinding people's mind from God's truth. They're blind to the truth of God. But it's God's goodness and kindness and love that can lead to repentance, letting God change their thinking. The devil is pumping out his message every single day. And a lot of people have bought into the devil's message. All I can do is pray for people who are blind to God's truth and they don't even know it. They have no clue that they're blind to the truth of God. But it's God's goodness and kindness and love. It says, the God of this age, the devil disguises himself as an angel of light. The God of this age has blinded the minds of unbelievers so they cannot see the light of the gospel display of the glory of Jesus Christ, who is in the image of God. For what we preach is not ourselves, but Christ as Lord and as our servant for sake for God, who says, let light shine out of darkness. The devil don't want nobody to be brought out of the darkness into the light. He want to continue to blind people's mind from God's truth. That's his goal, is to blind people's mind. He disguises himself as an angel of light, and he's blinding people's mind in this world from God's truth. They unaware that they need Jesus. They are blind to God's truth. But God's goodness and kindness and love can lead them to repentance. That means letting God change your thinking. All I can do is pray for a person that's blind to God's truth up here. They're blind to the truth of God. That they will let God deliver them. The woman that's exposing herself on Facebook, that's exposing herself, she's blind to God's truth. The person that's chasing religion, that's not Jesus. He hates religion. They blind to God's truth. But God's goodness and kindness and love would lead them to repentance. They will let Jesus change their mindset. It's God's goodness, his kindness, his love that leads to repentance, letting God change your thinking. And I'm going to continue to pray for people who are blind to God's truth, don't even know it. They have no clue. It's God's goodness and kindness and love that leads to repentance, letting Jesus change your mindset. That's what repentance is, letting God change your mindset. This is Set Free from the Trap Ministry, sharing biblical truth in a sinful world. All the glory go to Jesus. And that's 2 Corinthians 4. Bye-bye.